Good morning, everyone. This is Rose from Untwist Your Stitches, and this is my Flosstube about cross-stitching, crocheting, sewing, and all other crafting endeavors. I am filming on February 2nd, pretty early in the morning, earlier than I normally get things organized, but I don't have as many things to pull out as I normally would. I would like to welcome everyone who is new to my channel. Thank you for coming, and hopefully you find something fun that you can want to come back and see more of. For those returning customers, you're not my customers. I do not get paid to do this. You are my subscribers. Welcome back. I hope you have had an enjoyable month of stitching and all the other things that you have done. If you would, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, it really makes it easier for the algorithms of YouTube to get me out there and show to other people that may be interested in what I have to say. It is very bright today and pretty warm for my area of the country. It's probably going to get up into the low 60s today, which is very unusual for Idaho at this time of year. We have not had any of the storms or cold weather that the rest of the country has had. To those people that have been having those cold and snowy and other windy situations, I am sending my prayers out to you. I hope you have been well and been safe, and that you're finally getting back to some sense of normal. So let's get going. I have some things that I want to show you. The first thing I'm going to show you is my staffs. I call them staffs because they as an acronym for Start and Fully Finished. The first thing that I am going to show you is, well, it's not just the one item, because the way I have finished it, it's with another, and it's my blessing sampler. So this one down here, the white one with the blue and white fabric, is my 2026 sampler. And the one above it was my 2025. And I've put them together and they hang in my living room on the wall. So this is how I chose to finish it. What's going on? Oh, there it is. There's a string hanging down there. And these are all just embellishments that I had in my stash that I added to just give it a little bit of fun. So that is that finish. And what I did is I modified this pattern, my Sugar Stitches February sampler. I modified it. I used this center. I used the roses, but I put 3 instead of 2 on the one side. I took out February and just lowered the border. I used these hearts, but instead of putting another heart in the center, that's where I put the Cardinal. And I took love out of here, because putting the Cardinal in with the hearts, you know, I had to widen this bottom area. And then I put the 2026, and what else did I put in there? Oh, the flowers, being that there were 3 instead of 2, it came down and used up some of this section. And then over here, I put this pine cone from the Wintry Sampler by Robin Pickens. Now I plan on doing more of these different little motifs, but I'm going to use them separately. I'm not going to do it as one big sampler. I'm going to take each one of these things and use them as a individual motif. Also, above the 2026, I used one of these. I had to cut it shorter, but I used one of these little motifs up here. So that was how my blessing sampler came about. And I did finish it in a little over 1 week. I think it took me 10 days to finish that, but I did get it done. So then the next thing I have to show you that was a staff was my winter flourishes. This was number 1 in my 12 by 12. And it's a Jan Hicks Creates. And this is how I fully finished it. It's not exactly how I anticipated it coming out. This area here, I tried to do the crackle paint with, but it didn't work. It didn't crackle. I mean, in real life, you can see a couple of areas where it started to, but it didn't fully crackle for me. So I'm going to have to experiment a little bit more with how I do my crackle painting to make it exactly how I want it to come out. This is painted silver, and then the trim here is painted in what is called sandstone. And then I cut out a oval piece. I used the inside here and made a template. It's not perfect, obviously. It's not a perfect fit, but it did come out very, very nice, and I'm happy with what the results of it are. I thought I was using all of the called for thread in this, but then when I started stitching it, I realized I did change a couple of the colors. If you want the colors that I used, I can give those to you. Just leave me a message. And then all of these little buttons and charms and beads and that are just things that I have in my stash for finishing different projects. So that was my second fully finish. Then I'm going to have to insert a video that I made when I finished my next item, which would be number 3 finish for the year. It was a gift that I gave. I'm in a group that we do Pinochle tournament. If you know, Pinochle is a card game, and we have a tournament that's going on right now. And 1 week, the opposing players will host, and the second week, and then the next week you will host. So it's back and forth between different homes. And because we were going to their home, I decided to take them a little gift, and I will put the video in now to show you what I made. Sit at a different angle because of the time of day that I'm filming. It just wasn't working with showing you how this turned out. So what I did is I took the sheep virtue that was for simplicity, and I stitched it, and that's this top area here. But because of the person that I'm giving it to, patience is a better virtue. So I have changed the word on this. And as you see, all of the colors are different. Most of them are Roxy Floss Co. threads. And what was the other one? There was a couple of Weeks Dye Works. If you want to know what the conversion is, I can give that to you. But for the most part, it's the one-of-a-kind Roxy Floss Co. I just went in and pulled different threads that I wanted to use. And then what I did is I made it into a cover for this jar. And there are little treats in here for, she's a mom, so her kids will have little treats. And this is how I finished it. Now, it's not the perfect finish because I've never done one of these jar covers before. And I wanted to make sure that this could come off so that she could wash the jar if it got dirty, and also wash the design if it needed to because of little hands getting on it and getting it dirty or whatever. So it comes off. There's a piece of elastic in the top here to hold it on to the jar. And it was just a jar I found at Hobby Lobby that I'm using. And this is a little fabric square that I had in my stash that I just thought worked well with this, because it is what I gave as a gift. And it was stitched on 14 count malachite. The next thing that I did was another quick little stitch. This is Cardinal by Imaginating Inc. It was a freebie from 2007. It is stitched on 16 count snow on Aqua. You can't really, it's so small, it's hard, but you can see here there's some white dots. And if you see a bigger piece of it, it does look like snow on the fabric. But it's Snow on Aqua by Fabric Flair, and all of the suggested DMC. And this, if you noticed in my opening montage of the two different months, my January decorations and my February decorations, this hangs on my door that's in the living room there. So that is number 4 finish. And my final finish, it was not a staff. It was not started and fully finished at one time, but this was an FFO, and FFO means fully finished object. So I finished stitching it, I believe the 3rd week of January. And then I put it together, and this is it. Oops, here, let me show you what it's supposed to look like, and then I'll show you what I did with it and explain. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It was a kit, but I did not use the kit colors. This is how mine looks. It is Celtic Cross by Tina O'Reilly. It is on 30 count linen, and the name of the linen is Stardust by the Primitive Hare. I used DMCs. I used mainly DMCs, but I did use a few of the one-of-a-kind threads from my club by I can't think of the name. My mind just went blank on the dyer. They're in Canada. Oh wow, I'll have to put it below because it won't come to me. But anyway, the colors have significance because they are the colors that are used throughout the liturgical year for the Catholic Church. Green, purple, pink, red, and then if you see up here, just a tiny bit of black. And then instead of putting the saying that is on here, because what this is a book that I have to take to church with me every Sunday, to contain all of the things that I'm going to need. So this is my Mass book. I've got in this little pocket here, that's my prayer book. In this pocket up here is my rosary, and down here is my rosary book. So this is what I put it together to be for me to take to church every Sunday. And because of that, I put the first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. And then the third commandment is remember to keep the Lord's Day holy. And I figured for what I wanted to put it and use it as, those two commandments were the most important for this book. What I did to make it so that it won't get really dirty and whatnot is Mod Podge has a fabric glue that you can put on your fabric. And also this was a metallic, it's not woven in, it was kind of sprayed on. And when I was working with it and doing the stitching, it would kind of flake off a little bit. And I didn't want to lose my gold from the fabric, because that's why I got the fabric. That's what drew me to it. So I put the glue, the Mod Podge glue on it and let it set up before I made it into my book cover, so that it would, one thing, I can wipe it off and keep it clean if something were to spill on it or if it got a little grungy or whatever. And then the second thing is to keep my gold flake on it. But this is my 5th finish for the year. And that is why on my board, projects completed this year, I am up to 5 already. Now, I do not think that it's going to happen every month. I do not believe that I can do 5 finishes a month. That would be pretty amazing if I could get 5 cross-stitch projects per month done. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that is, so far for the year of 2026, I have 5 fully finishes. So then let's go on to whips. And because I had all of these finishes, starts and finishes, I only have one whip to show you. And that is my Christmas Cottage by Heaven and Earth Designs. So I'm going to have to pause for just a second so I can reach over and get my project. So this is my Christmas Cottage. It is artwork by Dona Gelsinger and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. You see this every month because I am diligently working on it to get it done this year. That is my plan. Hopefully. This month I didn't get to work on it nearly as much as I would have liked to. I had high hopes of finishing this end page, but you know, life happens sometimes. So I only have a small amount left to finish. I say small amount, but it is a substantial amount of stitching to do, because there's lots of color changes in that section to finish off the fence. And then I'll be going down and back across. And most of that is snow and the bottom part of the snowman. There's a little bit of confetti when we get to the other side where the fence is and the gate. But for the most part, I'm hoping it goes quicker with less color changes because of the snow. But, you know, there's color changes in the snow also to give it dimension, because there will be, obviously, as a Heaven and Earth design, there is no back stitching. Once you're done stitching, you're done. And yeah, I really want to get that done this year. And that is my focus for the year of 2026, is to finish my Christmas cottage. So that's the only whip I have for you. I have all these finishes, and they went a lot faster than what I anticipated. That winter Flourish pattern, I expected it to be at least, 2 sessions of stitching before I got it done. Boy, I'm going through that and thinking, wow, this is stitching up really fast. So it's nice. It was nice to have it as such a quick finish, but it was not what I was expecting. My plans, I will continue on with the projects that I did for my 12 by 12. What I do, for those of you who haven't been here long or don't know how I do my stitching, I start on Sunday and I stitch one project from Sunday to Saturday, unless I finish it. And if I finish it, then I'll pull out a small and I'll work on a small. And sometimes those smalls get finished, as you saw this month, or this video. There were 2 smalls that I was able to finish after I had worked on a bigger project. And of course, Christmas Cottage will come out for a week in February as well. So those are my plans. In my last video, I told you I was gonna not be buying anything until July, which is my birthday. Well, I've already broke down and bought a few things. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you, that doesn't count because it was a club. This is, hold please. I didn't want all that crinkling when I was trying to talk to you. So I have joined the Digi Stitcheries Fabric of the Month Club. And this came in the package with my first fabric. It also comes with this card. The name of the fabric is on there and the count size. But on the back, what's fun is a project card. So if you wanted to, use this this isn't how I keep track of my projects, so it won't be something that I can use personally, but I may put it into the bag when I start stitching. And I do have a project that I want to put on this fabric. I already know exactly what I'm going to put on it, and I'll show you in a few minutes what that will be. But this is the fabric, and isn't that awesome? It is so cool. And it is a 32 count linen. That is the smallest I will go. I know there are people out there that are saying you can work on 36, you can work on 40, you can work on 46 and all that. I'm sorry, I can't see it. It's not fun for me. And if it's not going to be fun for me, I'm not going to do it. So that was my fabric that I bought. I also bought this pattern, and this is the pattern that is going to go on this fabric. I think they will complement each other fabulously. I've been looking at this. This is an Etsy. Let me see the name of the Etsy. No, it's not there. I'll have to put it under there. I'm sorry. I can't find it. I can't find the name of the Etsy shop that I bought this off. But it was and it's something I've been looking at for a while. And when that fabric came in, I couldn't not buy the pattern because I knew that was what I was going to put this design on. And then, because I have been collecting them, as long as I did this purchase on Etsy, I also did the purchase for the last of the Wordy Bird series. So the last thing that I bought was this pattern, and I did it for my daughter. It's a little bit offensive. If you've seen these on, they're advertised on YouTube and Instagram. It's called Flip the Bird. I'm covering up the part that's a little bit naughty. But my daughter asked for this, so I am going to be stitching up a few of these and sending them off to her. So that was that. I think that's everything that I bought this month. I hope so, because if it's not, there's something else hanging out there and I don't know what it is. So anyway, those are the things. And I'm trying to be very good. I don't want to buy a lot of stuff. I've got so much already right now that I need to stitch and use up. I've gone through a couple of my pattern books up there, and I've eliminated some of the free patterns that I had printed because I know I'm not gonna stitch them. So why have them taking up space? But I do have a bunch of things kitted up, ready to go for when the rotation comes back around for these items that I finished, and I can put new items in their place. The other thing I like to do is what I call name dropping, and that is talking about some of the Flosstube people that I follow. I have 3 Sarahs. There is Sarah's Stitchy Spot, and she is a lovely lady from California that does beautiful work, a lot of samplers, and a lot of birds. She really enjoys those 2 things. Then there's Sarah's Stitchery and Handmade with Sarah W. Sarah's Stitchery, I believe she's in Ohio, and Handmade with Sarah W is down in Alabama, but they're friends and they do a lot of the same stitching. Sarah from Alabama does her stitching on Ada, and Sarah's Stitchery, she does her stuff on linen. And sometimes they'll change colors to suit themselves, and sometimes they won't, but they do a lot of the same stitching. And when they're showing it on their floss tubes, it's really fun to see. Occasionally they'll do a floss tube together where they do it remotely. They haven't had time to do that lately, so I can't tell you the last time that they did a dual video. But it's really fun to see the 2 items next to each other, or even if you just watch one video and then watch the other video, to see the same project being stitched a little bit differently depending on what fabric and what colors are being used. We have Toby Knits. She's in Canada. Her name is Anne, and her channel is called oops, I am sorry. I did not mean to bump the camera like that. Toby is her little dog, and that is what her channel is named after. But she does knitting videos that are separate from her cross-stitch videos, and then she'll do these random other things where it's almost like a vlog for her. And she's got a lot of really neat information, and she's a character. She really is. She's fun to watch. A Dutch stitcher, Anneke, and she is in Holland. She is a prolific stitcher, but now she is also branching out into doing her own patterns. And some of them are just absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to see, give her a look, that would be great. We also have the Stitching Owl, Karen. She is again in Canada, and she does what I was telling you about, where she'll take a bigger pattern and she'll take components of it and make them into smaller patterns. She also runs a, it's not a Zoom because she doesn't use Zoom. She uses Google, but on every other Tuesday, she will do an open stitching for anybody that is available. For me, it's kind of early. It's at 10:30 a.m., but she's on the East Coast time, so it's I believe 1:30 her time. But it's real fun, and we stitch together and talk about different things, and sometimes decide if we're going to do a sal together, or if somebody has a question about something, it's, the group can give suggestions as to what it has them stuck or where to go to look for things and that kind of stuff. So it's really fun, and it's very inclusive. And if you want to get information about that, you can go to her channel, and she will talk about that. And the last one I'm going to suggest for you is Born to Stitch. The two ladies are Ida and Amy. Amy is the owner of a shop by the same name, Born to Stitch, in New Jersey. And their last video over the weekend, they were saying that they were really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to go over and give them a look and see if maybe you will hit their subscribe button and push them over the top for their 1,000 subscriber mark that they're looking for. I believe it was their 15th video, and yeah, they're in the shop filming, and there's just a lot of fun stuff they have to show you. So then, I think that's all I have to say today. It's going to be kind of a short video because mainly it was all just finishes, and I will be back next month to give you some information about my February stitching and hopefully some good progress on some different projects. And I hope to see you then. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your stitching, and I will see you in a month. Bye.